Hey and welcome back. Today we are going to start implementing our first project. During this project we will create two containers, Apache container and mariadb container. We will link those two containers using Docker network. At the end we will run a PHP script inside the Apache container to check if the connection works as we expected. I'm not going to waste your time, let's start. I want you now to open your EDA editor. I prefer personally to use PHP Storm. You can use Visual Studio. It depends on your preferences. And create new project. And in the main directory, in the root directory of the project, I want you to place a file index.php. And inside of this file, I will add the following script. You will find a link to the repository in the description. You can copy it or clone it. This script will run inside of the server container and it will try to establish a connection to the database that run in another container. So if it succeeds, I will receive the following message: connected successfully, otherwise I will get connection failed. Very simple script. I don't want to waste your time. Let's start to create the containers and the connection between them. At the beginning, I will get inside the directory where I placed my project. So cd my first project. And now I will create a network so I can link my two containers with each other. We'll start with Docker network and then create. I will give it a name. Let's say my network. Enter. After that, I will start with creating the container where I am going to run my server. So Docker create. But this time I'm going to specify a flag -- network. And I will add the name of the network we created, my network. So by writing this flag, I'm saying this container will run within this designated network. After that, I will continue normal by adding the name of the container, the bind mount, the port, and at the end, I will specify the name of the image. And enter. And now I will start creating the container where I'm going to run the database. I decided to use mariadb. It's an open source relational database forked from MySQL. So Docker create, and like the last time, I will add the network, the same network. After that, I will add the name. Let's say mariadb, and then I will add the volume db 1 : and then I will specify the place where mariadb is going to store the data inside of the container. I will open the documentation and I will search inside the page for volume. And I'm interested in this title. You can read more about how to store data inside of the mariadb, but for me personally, I'm just interested in this space, var lib mysql. I will copy it and I will come back to the terminal and I will paste it. And now I will specify the port 3306. This is the database default port. After that, I will start with adding the variables. So if you still remember at the beginning of the video, I showed you the script and I said we need to add those three variables: username, password, and db name. I will come back to the documentation and I will look for environment variables. This one here. They said here one of those variables is required. So personally, I prefer to add mariadb root password. This will help me to have a full access to the database in case something wrong happened. Also, they said there is a large list of environment variable I can use. So I'll click on this page. Here is Maria server Docker official image environment variables. I will scroll down and I will pick those 3 variables: mariadb database, mariadb user, and mariadb password. I will come back to the terminal and I will start adding those variables. So the first one will be Maria root password. I prepared them already. And the second one will be mariadb user. And the third one is mariadb password. And the last one will be the name of the database I'm going to use. So Maria database, my first project. And at the end, I'm going to specify the name of the image. So I'll come back to the image. I will pick one. So let's say I'm going to use this one. It doesn't matter, you can choose whatever you want. Come back to the terminal and I will add the name of the image and enter. Unable to find the image. As usual, start to pull it from the repository. And now we are ready. We created the network, we created the 2 containers we are going to use. So I will keep the page. And now I need to add the variables to the script. So we have at the beginning the server name. And when it came to the Docker container, you don't write localhost or, I don't know, specify an IP. You add the name of the container where the server is running. So I will come back to the terminal and I will write Docker ps-a. Enter. Make it a little bit smaller. So this is the container where the database is running, this one. I will copy the name mariadb. I will come back to the script. I will add it. And then the username we specified, my user. And then the password, 1, 2, 3, 4. And after that, the name of the database. So my first project. I will come back to the terminal and I will start the containers. So Docker start the first one, mariadb, and the second one, my PHP server. Enter. And before I move on, I want to add the PHP extension to the container. So I will open the shell using Docker execute and then -it my PHP server and then the shell I'm going to use, so bin bash. I will update using apt and update. It will take some time. And now I will add the extension using the following command. This command is specifically designed to install extension inside of the PHP images. I will add now the extension mysqli. Yes, our installation was finished. I will exit. Now I will restart the container. And now let's try to check the server to see if the database is accessible. So another page, enter, and as I expected, connected successfully. We finished. I know it was a very basic project, but I'm kind of people who believe in taking the stairs one step at a time. In the next part, we will start creating our Docker custom images. See you.